Have you ever loved someone so deeply, only to realize they never truly respected you? My name is James, and this isn't a love story. It's a story about self-worth, and the painful truth that sometimes, love without respect is just an illusion. I was engaged to a woman I thought was my soulmate. I stood by her through her toughest years. I believed we were a team. But then, just one sentence, said in front of a room full of people, made it painfully clear. To her, I was nothing more than a joke. And in that moment, I took the ring off her finger, and I walked away. Have you ever been made to feel small for following your passion? If so, this story might hit home for you. In reality, there were moments when it wasn't entirely negative. For years, I truly thought I had discovered someone who recognized my true self. Lily and I didn't have a passionate love affair. Our past was significant. We crafted a life together, piece by piece. As she navigated the challenges of her career, I stood by her side, offering support and encouragement. Supporting, uplifting, and having faith in her, even during her moments of self-doubt. In those moments, I believed we were united as one. I never thought the woman I stood by through thick and thin would one day undermine my aspirations in front of an audience. Yet, in retrospect, the indications were consistently present. I simply preferred not to encounter them. At the outset, Lily stood as my greatest ally. She would radiate joy whenever she spoke of my creations. James possesses remarkable talent. She would share with her friends, browsing through my portfolio as if it were a treasured artifact. She would boast about the moment my photos graced the pages of a magazine, parading them as if they were her own triumph. For an extended period, I held the conviction that admiration was genuine. Photography was more than just a casual pastime for me. It was my vocation, my fervor, my existence. I dedicated myself to establishing my reputation, pouring resources into top-notch equipment, and seizing moments that resonated deeply with others. I wasn't merely getting by. I was flourishing. I transformed my passion into a thriving venture, a feat that many aspire to but few accomplish. Initially, Lily appeared to grasp the situation. However, gradually, her manner of discussing my work started to change. It began with a solitary remark, one I dismissed without a moment's consideration. As we enjoyed our dinner, our conversation buzzed with excitement about our wedding plans. It was then that I brought up the new camera lens I had been eagerly saving for. With a weary breath, she remarked, "You ought to pursue a genuine career that offers a steady income. Weddings can really put a dent in your wallet, can't they?" She chuckled after she said it, as if it were merely a light-hearted jest. I chuckled as well, unaware at that moment that it marked the initial fissure in the bedrock of our bond. Next arrived the second moment, delicate yet undeniable. While we were out shopping, she unexpectedly encountered a colleague. I stood there, anticipating her introduction, but it never came. Upon her return, she nonchalantly remarked, "I simply didn't know how to introduce you." It hurt deeply. Yet, I reassured myself that her words were not intended in the manner they appeared. The third time, however, there was no doubt about it. We were at home, engaged in a casual conversation, when she casually remarked, "I mean, photography is nice and all, but it's not really a career, is it?" She uttered it with such nonchalance, without a moment's pause. In that instant, a transformation occurred within me. She was serious. She genuinely believed it. To her, all that I had created, every late night, every weekend I gave up, every bit of passion I invested in my craft, was merely a hobby, a leisure activity, something that lacked true significance. Yet, I chose to overlook it. I reassured myself that she had no ill intentions, convincing myself that I was overanalyzing the situation. Ultimately, this was Lily, the woman I had cherished for years. She had consistently been there for me in the past, hadn't she? In retrospect, the clarity has emerged for me. That was my initial error. I overlooked the indications. And soon, those tiny fishes would burst forth, in a manner I never anticipated. Lily extended an invitation for me to accompany her as a guest to her company's annual office celebration. The event took place in a stylish, high-end location, a secluded venue adorned with soaring glass panels, gleaming marble surfaces, and the gentle murmur of jazz playing softly in the background. The atmosphere crackled with vitality, populated by individuals who exuded a natural assurance. The type of individuals who talked about promotions, investments, and six-figure salaries as casually as one might discuss a routine task on their agenda. I felt a sense of calm, or at least, that's the narrative I crafted for myself. Yet, I couldn't shake the sense that I was somehow out of place. My reality was transformed. My enthusiasm didn't conform to their corporate structure. Yet, I held my head high, affirming my pride in my accomplishments. Lily brought me into a cozy circle of her colleagues, 4 or 5 in number, all clad in sleek suits and sophisticated dresses, enjoying cocktails while engaging in lively discussions about their field. I smiled and nodded, but primarily absorbed the conversation as they talked about future projects with prominent clients. Then, one of them, a man in a navy suit, sharp and immaculate as if he had just emerged from the pages of a glossy publication, turned to me with a courteous yet inquisitive look. "So, James, what's your craft?" Before I could respond, Lily emitted a light, amused scoff, the sort that signaled she was on the verge of delivering something humorous. "Oh, James," she remarked, swirling her drink with a playful smirk. "His role primarily involves capturing stylish photographs for financial gain." Joyful laughter filled the room. Unrefined laughter. Not a clumsy, hesitant chuckle. Utter delight. A few of them shared sly looks, their smirks suggesting they had just uncovered a hidden jest. A woman in the group even nodded and remarked, "Oh, that's adorable." In that instant, I sensed the laughter enveloping me, a warm embrace that pressed against my skin. In that instant, I perceived Lily with a clarity I had never experienced before. This was no mere oversight. This was not a mere mishap of humor. This was her perception of me, how she had likely always perceived me. To her, I wasn't a committed visual storyteller. I wasn't an individual who had crafted a successful career from the very beginning. I was merely an individual capturing moments for a living. And just like that, everything fell into alignment. The condescending remarks, her pause while introducing me spoke volumes. The understated jabs I had overlooked. She felt no pride in me. She felt a sense of shame because of me. In that instant, I resolved to take action. I refused to dedicate my life to someone who undermined my worth. I placed my drink on the surface, finding my balance. Then, I faced Lily, locked eyes with her, and declared, "If you don't value what I do, then you don't value me." I refuse to dedicate my life to anyone who diminishes my worth. The laughter ceased abruptly. The atmosphere became heavy with anticipation as glances flitted between me and Lily, eager to witness her reaction. Her gaze was fixed on me, filled with wonder. Her lips parted just a bit before transforming into a hesitant chuckle, as if she believed she could still dismiss this moment. Yet, I found no humor in it. I took her hand, gently removed the engagement ring from her finger, and tucked it away in my pocket. Gasps echoed among the crowd. A voice near the bar whispered, "Damn." But I didn't linger to soak in their reactions. I didn't need an audience for this. Without another word, I turned and walked away. Out of the party, out of her life, and out of a place where I was clearly never valued. I didn't look back, because for the first time in a long time, I knew exactly where I stood. At first, Lily didn't reach out. Not a single text. Not a single call. Nothing. And honestly, I wasn't surprised. Lily had always been too proud to admit when she was wrong. Too focused on appearances to face any situation that made her look bad. After that party, she must have been humiliated. Not just because I walked away in front of her colleagues, but because I did it on my own terms. I wasn't the one being laughed at anymore. I was the one who left. And for someone like Lily, who thrived on control and perception, that had to sting. Weeks passed. Silence. And then, one evening, out of nowhere, her name lit up on my phone. It was a long message, but the words were predictable. "I've been thinking a lot about what happened. I didn't mean it like that. You know I respect you. I was just joking, and I didn't realize how it came across. Can we talk?" I read it, and I just sat there for a moment, letting it sink in. If she had sent this message right after the party, if she had really thought about what she did, really regretted it, maybe, just maybe, I would have believed her. But after weeks of silence, after acting like nothing happened, no, this wasn't about regret. This was about damage control. She wasn't reaching out because she had a change of heart. She wasn't reaching out because she finally saw me for who I was. She was reaching out because she didn't like how it made her look. To her friends, to her family, to the people who had expected to be at our wedding. And that's when I knew she never truly respected me. She had tolerated my career, but she had never valued it. She had accepted me, but she had never been proud of me. She wanted a fiancé who fit into her world, someone she could show off, someone with a job title she wouldn't have to explain. And that wasn't me. It had never been me. So I replied, not out of anger, not to argue, just to close that chapter. I appreciate the message. I wish you all the best, Lily. I really do. But it's best if we both move on. Short, simple, final. She didn't respond. And I knew she wouldn't, because for the first time, there was nothing left to say. That was the moment I finally saw the truth. I deserved better. I deserved someone who didn't just put up with my dreams, but actually believed in them. Someone who wouldn't shrink away from introducing me. Someone who wouldn't laugh at my passion, whether we were alone or standing in a crowded room. And once I accepted that, I knew exactly what I had to do next. I packed my bags and left. Our small town had been my comfort zone for too long, and I wasn't going to sit there, haunted by memories of a life that almost happened. For years, I had dreamed about taking my photography to the next level, to push myself, to see what I was truly capable of. And there was only one place I knew I could do that. London. It was intimidating. It was expensive. It was everything people warned me about. But for the first time in a long time, I was making a decision purely for me. No compromises. No doubts. No one to prove myself to. I threw myself into work, saying yes to every opportunity. Fashion shoots, events, travel gigs, anything that would challenge me and expand my portfolio. I worked harder than ever. But this time, it felt different. This time, I wasn't just trying to succeed. I was building something that was mine. Months passed, and I wasn't just getting by. I was thriving. My name started circulating in the right circles. My work was getting noticed. And then, one day, I received an email that changed everything. A major international photography award had shortlisted one of my photographs. At first, I thought it was a mistake. I reread the email 3 times just to be sure. But no, it was real. Out of thousands of entries from all over the world, my work had been chosen. And when I finally saw my name listed as the winner, I just sat there, staring at the screen. Not because I couldn't believe it, but because, deep down, I always had. Even when others didn't. Even when Lily dismissed my career as taking selfies for money. Even when I let myself believe, for a moment, that maybe she was right. Now, the world saw what I had always known. I was damn good at what I did. I don't know if Lily ever saw the news. Maybe she regretted how things ended. Maybe she convinced herself she was right all along. But honestly, I don't care. That part of my life is closed. What I do know is this. Out of everything I gained after walking away, the biggest win wasn't the award. It wasn't the recognition. It was the fact that, for the first time in a long time, I was surrounded by people who valued me. People who saw my work for what it was. Art, not just fancy selfies. And among them was someone who didn't just admire what I did, but respected it. Someone who saw me for who I was and never once made me feel small for it. Because in the end, respect in a relationship isn't optional. It's non-negotiable. Looking back, I realized something important. The way someone speaks about you in public reveals how they truly see you in private. Lily's words weren't just a careless joke. They were a glimpse into her real thoughts. One she had probably carried all along. And I ignored the signs for too long. The truth is, when someone repeatedly makes fun of your dreams, even with a laugh, even if they call it a joke, you need to listen. Because those harmless jokes tell you exactly how they see you. And if they don't respect what you do, they don't respect you. I almost lost myself trying to fit into someone else's version of success. But choosing self-respect over a relationship that made me feel small, that was the best decision I ever made. So, let me ask you, have you ever had someone dismiss your passion, make you feel like your dreams weren't good enough? How did you handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button. It helps more than you know.